Good evening, everyone. I'm CA Saurav Agarwal, practicing chartered accountant since 2000 from Pink City, Jaipur, and moderator of this today's webinar. I am delighted to welcome you all for this today's webinar, which is on building a high-performance team for growth in in CA practice under the Committee of Aggregation of CA Firms. Friends, I acknowledge the presence of our own chairman of this committee, CA Satish Kumar Gupta ji, vice chairman of this committee, CA Sanjay Kumar Agarwal ji, and obviously today's very dynamic, learned and visionary speaker on this topic, CA Shri Vijay Raja ji. Friends, most of us here started our practice as the chief everything officer. We are the lead auditor, the expert, the HR manager, and sometimes even the tech expert also. But today's speaker often says a practice that depends entirely on its partner is not a business, it's a job. To scale, we need to move from individual brilliance to institutional excellence. Today, we are diving into how to break silos, build sophisticated structures on a mid sized budget, and ensure our firms outlive our direct involvement. It is my absolute pleasure to introduce our guide for the transformation, CA Vijay Rajaji. Friends, now I welcome our Vice Chairman of this committee, CA CA Sanjay Kumar Agarwal ji. I will brief out his expertise and his profile. Shri Sanjay Kumar Agarwal ji is practicing CA since 1986. He is presently the Central Council member. He is the chairman of the committee, Commercial Laws and Economic Advisory Committee. He was he's vice chairman of Committee of Aggregation of CA Firms as well as MSc and Startup Committee. I invite Shri Sanjay Kumar Agarwal ji for his welcome note. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Saurabh bhai, CA Saurabh. Honorable my chairman, CA Satish Kumar Gupta ji, the faculty of the day, CA Vijay Raja ji. I think the chairman has taken a very apt step and beautiful step for propagating through webinar a topic which is near to everyone's heart, building a high performance team, growth of CA practice. This is the biggest difficulty in anyone's life. The data, if we see in the practicing era, as you know, it is of concern everywhere because around 1 lakh of forms which are there, out of that around 68,000 are proprietary and 3,000 are improprietary. So we have around 70,000, 70% and odd form are in proprietary. So the aggregation of form, as you know, this is the third year of this committee. This is the new concept which the institute has brought, and the then president, Sri Ranjit Agarwal, has thought about this idea, and it continued, and this is the third year. And the building of any form is very important, and I'm also eager to listen Vijay Rajaji and to my chairman in this particular field because we have to learn also. Every day we tell and we try to build up the teams also, and that is what is the most important. So thank you very much, Committee for Aggregation and my chairman, Satish Gupta ji, for bringing out this webinar, and the participation itself is now telling that they are very much interested in this topic. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Sanjay Kumar Agarwal, sir. Now I once again welcome the chairman of this committee, CA Shri Satish Kumar Gupta ji, who is presently serving the chairman of aggregation of CA Firms Committee and International Taxation Committee of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. In addition to this role, he is also vice chairman of the Board of Studies Academic for the current term. He has also served as the chairman of the CPE Committee, chairman of UDI Directorate, and vice chairman of the Committee for Members in Practice of ICAI during the tenure of 2025-26. He's a prolific speaker and writer. He has also authored numerous papers and delivered insight lectures at various seminars, residential refresher courses, and webinars. His area of expertise includes income tax assessment, survey and searches, soft skills, and personal development topics such as goal settings and career planning. Sir, I invite you for your welcome note. Please, sir.
Thank you, Saurabh. Honorable, my brother, P. Sanjay Agrawal ji, who is designated vice chairman of this committee, but I can say you, my dear friends, that he is the architect of this committee. He is the person who have created this committee since last 2 years, who has worked like anything day and night on this committee. I have seen him working that he has hold the at least 5 days continuous meeting for this particular committee, and he is having that light in his mind, or I can say goal in his mind, that how we can bring our proprietorship firm into bigger firms so they can work for the betterment of profession, for the betterment of themselves, and for the country also. So he is the person under whom I am working this time also. And I know that under his dynamic leadership, this committee is going to work a lot and lot and lot. Honorable Vijay Rajaji and another prolific speaker today, and what I got from his CV, I can say a biodata or that wonderful, and it was very tough to read out that thing because some jealous was there that Vijay Rajaji has got several things in his life at this age, and we could not get any even as some percentage of that. So some jealous was that, but I think the hard work and the he has done for that work is really wonderful. So, and he is the speaker today. I am 100% sure that all the members who are attending this webinar shall be benefited by his deliberations, and they will definitely have how can they build team. I personally believe, Rajaji, that building a team is very difficult task, and you are going to deliberate on building a high performance team. So building a team and building a high performance team is having a big difference. So this session is going to be very lightning session, and all are going to be benefited. Saurabh Agrawal, my brother from Jaipur, who is also doing very great work since last 10-15 works in the profession, and very sincere worker. And Parul, secretary of the committee, team aggregation to CA firm committee, and tech team, and my dear members who are attending in such a large number to this webinar. I can understand that proprietorship firms of our country are not inclined to aggregate or to make big firm of them. And this is the thing which at this committee we want, that how we can make them understand, how we can change their mindset, how we can develop their mindset so they come on the same platform, so we can not only make true the vision of our Prime Minister, who is dreaming the 100 big firms of this country itself, but also of our ICI and also the profession. So we are working together, and I wish that by the end of this particular council year, we have few firms to whom we can say these are the firms who have been aggregated by this committee, and the efforts of Sanjay Agrawal ji, who is continuously doing from last 3 years, may make true. So for this purpose, I believe that this is something great. Now I would like to talk about this committee. Friends, we have all models where the name of your firm is safe, where you can go for the empanelment, where you can join with other professions, other disciplines. So, under the dynamic leadership of our President, Vice President, and Sanjay Agrawal ji, now we have a networking model that to have three different type of models. We have that networking model, we have a lead model. So, where you can save the name of your firm, you can work with the same name. I know that most of the practitioners love the name of their firm. They don't want to leave that name. so they can continue with their name, and they can also get empanelment even for MEF or for C&AG in the name of their firm. So this model, which is the alliance model or the networking model, allow us to go for the empanelment or to have the same name of firm which we are having as of now. So we have taken care that this model allows you to take care of both these things. We have the merger model where you can merge and you can take your name back after 1 year before the expiry of 10 years. So that is also the, suppose you merge with another firm, and after 3 years, 4 years, 2 years, but certainly after 1 year, you want to go out from that merger by any reason, then you can go out and can have your name back. So this model we have. If you want to network with the foreign firms, our chairman Sanjay Agrawal ji has made it last year by doing very hard work. That now you can go for the foreign networking also. We also have the aggregation of LLP. This is also a very good model, and we can assure you that you just show your interest that you want to be bigger, you want to go for aggregation, you want to go for the collaboration, you want to go for merger, you want to go for networking. There are several models we have, and every model has different virtues. So you can choose any one of them as per your choice, as per your requirement, and you can go ahead. Believe me, my dear friends, that future is of the aggregation. You know that why our Prime Minister is asking for the 100 big firms of the country. He understands that in the times to come, there will be a global scenario throughout the world, and all the firms would require and need that they have presence in the not only in our country but all in some other countries also, and that too effectively. So this aggregation, this collaboration, this merger or this networking is need of the hour. We have to think, because I know that compliance is going to remain. Compliance is not going anywhere. It the route may be changed, the system may be changed. There may be a requirement of high, or this may be converted into audit of compliance, but compliance is going to remain with the profession. But it is not sufficient if you have vision to go up. If you have vision to scale up, then this is not sufficient, that you cannot achieve your goal simply adopting compliance or compliance audit. You will have to think of audit of Reliance Industry. You will have to be think of the Central Statutory Audit of the State Bank of India or Bank of Baroda, or you will have to think of the CSA of the SDFC Bank Limited. So whatever big thing you have in your mind, and if you want to achieve that particular goal, then you will have to think of aggregation. Then you will have to think of merger. Then you will have to think of networking or foreign networking, because that thing will give you not only confidence, that will give you infrastructure, that will give you power, that will give you understanding of all the things which are happening in the world as of now. So this is the reason that I'm requesting you that try thinking of aggregation, try thinking of merger or networking. This is the right time when we can work on this. So, and I know that time is limited, and Vijay Rajaji is there. He wants to deliberate on the subject, and you are here to listen him only, not to us. But I took his time, out of his time, few minutes, just to share that this aggregation is need of the hour, my dear friends, and try to adopt this. Try to adopt this. From one proprietorship, try to become 2 partner firm, 3 partner firm, 4 partner firm, 5 partner firm. Slowly, you should think that how can you be more bigger. And once you start this working, after few months or few years, you will definitely come to know that this real power of the profession is in the aggregation. So my dear friends, again requesting that start thinking, and we are here, aggregation committee is here to take care of all your questions, all your queries, and all hand holding. How can we help you? And we are going to hold the webinars, the seminars, the non-CP programs at your place. You just make a request to the committee, and I can assure you Parul is a very dynamic, very active, proactive worker in the committee. She will take care of your request, and we will hold as much as CP programs or non-CP programs just to aware you about this particular aggregation and the merger or the networking. One more thing, friends, we are coming up with that one Setu. Setu is the portal which for this committee is going to come very soon, and this is also done by Sanjay Bhai. He was the again architect of this Setu portal, which is a unique portal, my dear friends, that will allow if you want some work. Suppose you want to work in Bombay, you want some audit work in Bombay, you can put your requisition there that I am interested in doing work at Bombay, audit work or some other work. And if somebody needed a person at Bombay, he can connect with you, or some company or some big firm seeks that they want a chartered accountant in Jaipur or at Nimka Thana or at Noida, then they can also put their interest on the portal, and any one of you can choose that particular interest shown by that particular firm. So this is a portal which we have named Setu, is also coming for you very soon, and I would request that be proactive in participating in that portal also. And so I think that now the time is of Vijay Rajaji and Saurabh, and you people. I am no person to have that to steal that particular time of Vijay Rajaji and you. So thank you very much for giving this opportunity and hearing me patiently. Thanks a lot. Thank you, Sanjay Bhai, for giving such a nice committee and such a high stage that now we can proudly say, yes, we have several models of aggregation and networking with us. It is all because of your hard work. So thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Jai Bharat, Jai ICI. Over to Saurabh.
Thank you so much, sir, for enlightening us on this importance of the aggregation of CA firms. Respected all, the importance of this topic can be very well acknowledged as we are having more than 415 registrations on this burning topic. Now, friends, before inviting our today's speaker, I would like to introduce our speaker to the August gathering. CA Vijay Rajaji holds impressive qualification that fuel his business mentorship. He is a gold medalist winning chartered accountant from ICI and earned third rank holder in cost accountant exam. He is also an LLB again with first rank. Plus, he is a qualified company secretary as well. He is the author of various publications in the field of corporate laws, business management, and governance. He is the founder director of Viramal Consultancy Private Limited. He is the founder of We Are What More. He is also the visionary force behind We Are What More, a professionally curated community platform designed to unlock the next level of growth for ambitious chartered accountants. Sir, now I request
He is the finest example of MDP.
Rightly said,
He
sir.
is CA and that too topper. He is the LLB, that too topper. He is the CS, that to the topper. He is the CMA, that to the topper. So he is the finest example of the MDP, and it is a pleasure and privilege for all of us to hear him.
Yes, sir. Friends, most of us has already started as an expert, but to grow from a practice to a firm, we have to stop being the only engine. Today, CA Vijay Rajaji is going to show us how to build a team that work for us so we can work on the business. Now I invite Shri Vijay Rajaji for his deliberation. Welcome, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Satish ji. Thank you, Sanjay ji. Thank you, Saurabh, for the introduction. In Hindi, there's a beautiful saying that Jaisi Drushti, Vaisi Ye Shushti. That means how we look at everything will decide what will become our world. So I think what should be our world is not something from the outside, it is what we decide. So to start with, to all my friends who have assembled today, firstly, thank you for coming on a M day. M day is Monday, which is always considered as the first day of the week, and you're all day on the M day. So my entire focus would be to create a small shift, like how they say in Hindi, nazar badlo, nazariya badal jayega. And that's the whole focus that we will be doing today. And as I keep telling a few things, sometimes some of them may feel, oh, there are so many challenges in our profession. लगता है कि यहाँ से भागना है. So I just want to give one small tip for this, saying that हमारा काम भागना नहीं, जागना है. So let's ensure that we are enlightened and we enlighten others also. And I'm so happy for what the institute is doing. I think to ensure that with all your support from the institute, Satish sir and Sanjay sir, I think अभी CA में कोई भागना नहीं है, सभी जागना है. So thank you so much for this. So let me begin. I will share my screen. I hope it's visible. Yeah, thank
Visible,
you.
sir.
Thank you. So this is about the building a high performance team for CA practice. For me, the most important word that comes up is about this aspect, which I will just highlight for you if so that you can see it better. If you can see what I've highlighted here, basically talking about stop running your practice, start building it. So what are we trying to say? We always say we are running a practice, but actually we are bhag rahe hain. So we're just only running. So we said, let's stop saying the word running practice. We'll start saying we are building the practice so that we're building it for a better one. So the whole focus today will be to understand how to shift into macro management, create practice systems, and ensure there's a scalable growth. That means our objective of today's session is to ensure that you change from a compliance executor to a practice leader. So this would be our entire focus of this discussion. So to give you a quick about what we mean by this, I'll just take you to the agenda. So if you can see the agenda here, just a minute, yeah. If you can see the agenda here, what we are trying to understand in today's session is these aspects. One, what is the micromanagement reality that we are all facing? Second, from a micromanagement, how do I shift to macro management? Now, why is this relevant? So what is wrong in what I'm doing? Definitely nothing wrong. I think this is something which I strongly believe, and that is there is nothing called as a right decision or a wrong decision. It's a decision that each one of us take based on our maturity, based on our experiences, and so on. Having been part of practice for many years, wherein I was blessed to be in practice to see the firm grow from 60, 70 people to close to 600 people. And I think this journey has given me a lot of clarity as to how to grow a business from just 60, 70 people to 600 people. Similarly, in the course of trying to help many of them, so I took this as a vision saying that it should not be one firm which should grow. I think it should be all firms which should grow. And therefore, that's why today I'm so much into helping CA firms also to scale up, because I think from Vikshit Bharat 2047, it's not that one firm grows. I think the country needs many CA firms to grow up, scale up, because that is the amount of potential that is available for us in future. A few firms growing is not enough. I think many CA firms have to grow. And with that objective, I'm so happy what the CA Institute has created this initiative. So in this process, first, micromanagement reality. Second, how to shift from micro to macro. And then how to create practice systems. Once we understand these three, then I'll start telling you about the three pillars that is required for practice. I'll talk about the 6 core systems, which is essential for your CA firm as a system-driven entity. I'll give you 8-step blueprint to build your systems in CA practice. And then I'll also give you the action checklist saying that what you need to do, because as CA, we always believe in checklists, isn't it? If we have to do an audit also, we have a checklist. So we'll talk about what are the checklists that I have to create. And that's what is the whole process of this. So I think you're all aligned to what we'll be discussing. In this entire process, I will be asking a few interesting, thought-provoking questions. So when I say interesting, thought-provoking questions, it's for us to see how it would go. So let's look at what they all can be. Here I start. Let's start with doing our own self-assessment. What is the self-assessment we need to do? The CA Micromanager Mirror. And if you see what I've written here, I'm asking you this question. Ask yourself honestly, are these habits reflecting in your firm? Now, why am I asking these questions? Now, just now, Satish sir spoke about saying that you need to be keeping your mindset ready, saying that, hey, I want to grow, I have to become big. I should be ready for mergers. I should be ready for making my team bigger, adding on more partners, and so on. But then the first question that comes up is when we are talking about amalgamating with one more entity, it's a different way of telling, hey, I'm getting married, isn't it? It's like a marriage of two firms. Now, I also tell one more aspect to all whenever I do the mentoring sessions for CA firms, I tell them, look, to get married, first you have to check, are you eligible for marriage? So what I mean by are you eligible for marriage? Like how they say for marriage, you can't be a minor, you have to be a major. That is one criteria. We'll say another eligibility criteria is, hey, abhi kuch धंधा नहीं कर रहा है, there is no income only for him. How will he actually get married? He doesn't have those responsibilities yet. He has to first ensure that he is earning for himself. So we put some eligibility criteria before marriage, isn't it? So what I'm discussing today is, first, let's have a reflection of ourselves. Are we eligible to scale up to the next level? Are we ready to climb the ladder to the next level? And for that, you need to have an honest assessment of yourself. So what do I mean? This can be the habit as to what we are doing. And for that habit, this can be the cost, what I call it as the hidden cost of the habits we follow. For example, I want you to answer these questions very honestly to yourself. Do you review every working paper which goes out from your office? That is, you check every detail before it moves. If the answer is yes, I check all the working papers, every detail before it moves, that means you're actually 3 to 4 hours is lost. It also means that your team is not owning up the responsibility. It also means that you're not confident that your team can deliver without you reviewing every minute detail of it. That's the first point to look at ourselves as a self-assessment. Second, do you draft every client email? Because you believe only you can write the mail correctly to the client, and therefore, no, I'll only write all the mails. Then what does this mean? The hidden cost of this is you are a bottleneck in the turnaround time, which also means the team will never learn how to communicate with clients. Very important question to ask yourself is whether only you talk to the key clients, that is, you handle all the calls and meetings, which also means as a hidden cost that there is a single point of failure, wherein relationship is with you and not your firm. This is not a good tendency where the client looks at you above your firm. The way you need to project yourself is it is the firm which is delivering everything, and you are one among them in the firm. One more question to ask. Do you redo almost all the works? Meaning what? That you fix errors instead of giving feedback. Meaning what? I have seen many of them, even during my mentoring of most of the CA practicing partners. The main pain point they tell is, sir, by the time I can delegate, by the time I can make my juniors understand, I feel I can only do it. I feel it's a waste of time to tell them. Instead of spending the time on them, better I only do it. So that means we are not willing to delegate. Why? Because we feel, I think I can only do it myself. Now, what is the hidden cost of this? The team stops thinking. So when the team stops thinking. Why? Because anyway, they know it, kya, jo bhi hai, you will only do the correction anyways. If you're anyway going to do all the corrections, then why I should be there? Not required. It's okay. They will do it. Jo bhi hai, kuch bhi karo. Anyway, the boss will check again. Slowly what will happen when the team stops thinking, attrition will start increasing and you will get busier and busier in doing the daily routines. So there's always a beautiful saying, which I always love to quote. If you start doing others' work which can be delegated, then who will do your work? And that is something we need to understand. What is delegatable should be delegated, and what you alone can do, you alone can do. And the last question to ask yourself, do you personally track all the deadlines? That means you always have a mental calendar. Hey, GST return, GSTR1, GSTR2A to B, GSTR3B. Hey, TDS by the 7th. Oh, this audit date by so-and-so, tax filing by so-and-so. Is it that you are always tracking deadlines? It means you become the compliance calendar and not that you are depending on a process or a system to remind you. So the bottom line for all this is what I've given you in bold there, which says micromanagement does not just burn you out. It prevents your team from growing and caps your firm's capability. And I call this as a high risk zone. So I just want you to honestly look at your own entities, do an assessment of it. And some of you, if you have just recently started practice or you're about to practice, you also know with this session, you're able to understand, hey, what mistakes I should not make? What is it that I should take care of? So this is an important self-assessment. Of course, it's in a great detail that when we take up the self-assessment, we do it in great detail, but I think this is a very good starting point for you to understand, are you a micro manager? And this will reflect as a mirror to you. Having understood this, now let's understand between micromanagement as compared to macro management, what should be the shift? Let's understand the shift. The trap was what? Let's first understand what is the trap. The trap I had was delegation style. Some of you may say, no, I delegate the work. But then you need to understand what is your delegation style. Do you always give a delegation telling, do this task exactly this way? Don't waste my time. Don't discuss that and this. I want you to do this. Take this, do this, add this, minus this. Now that means what we are trying to do is we are delegating not the task. We are only giving them instructions onto the process of how to perform the task. Do this exactly this way. That's a trap. Then what is the goal you have to achieve? So I'm going to give you answers also for every question I'm raising. The answer is it should be outcome focused, meaning own this deliverable and the outcome. So you'll have to tell when you're delegating, saying that this is what I want as the end result. Now I leave it to you, to your creativity, to come and tell me as to how you're planning to do it. Because I need to know what is his thought process, how he's going to do it. It's not that you just leave it off and then he comes back and says, I did not know what to do. So you want to ask him the question, see, this is what I want as the end result. This is the outcome I want. And for this deliverable, you tell me what will you do now? That's a beautiful way to ensure that the delegation style is not more of a autocracy, wherein you're only telling, I want you to do it this way, but instead you're telling, this is my outcome, you tell me how will you do it. And once we decide, so let's say your second line comes and tells you, sir, we're planning to do it like this. Fair enough. And you feel, no, can you think of one more idea? Okay, they'll think of one more idea and says, can we do it like this? And then you add a little bit of your idea saying that, have you thought like this also? So that means you're encouraging the thinking capabilities. That means you're helping them to wear the thinking hat. The moment they start wearing the thinking hat, then the switch will start. And once the thinking starts, then automatically you're also ensuring that they become accountable to what they do. Once that has been done, very important part is this part, that's about the review process. Now, when I say review process, do you check every entry personally? Or will you do what is called as an exception review? This is what we say. In management terminology, there's a beautiful terminology called as management by exception. So what is this management by exception? That means you will manage the show only where there is an exceptional need for you to interfere. That means your reviews will be only for the summaries, only for some escalations, only for some exceptions which are there. Same thing you have to follow even for client handling. So when you're talking about handling the client, is it that as a partner or as a sole proprietor, you handle everything of the client? If that's the aspect, then there's a trap. Then what should I do? It should be a distributed activities. What do you do that? The team handles and the partner takes care of escalations only. That's what is very important. So you ensure that you're not there all the time for everything. I used to always ask one simple question when I start any discussion with any of the practicing CS. I'll ask them, what will happen to your business if you go on a holiday? Switch off your phones also. Don't check your emails also. And you're out on a holiday for a week, for 10 days, for 15 days. So I remember one of them giving me a beautiful answer. He said, sir, for 15 days, if I go on a holiday and switch off my phone also, not talk to my office team also, don't receive my emails also, then I can continue my holiday, no problem, because it's as good as shutdown. I'll be only in holiday season and nothing else beyond that. Right? So that's a factor to be considered. So we call this as a risk factor. What is the risk factor? There's a huge dependency on the sole proprietor or the partner, which means the firm cannot scale. The firm cannot scale. So you need to create a scalability model. So what should I do for a scalability model? For a scalability model, you have to have a distributed ownership. Only then firms can grow. Same thing with the team growth. When it comes to team growth, does your team become only order takers? What do you mean by order takers? It's like, how we go to a restaurant and say, hey, idli lekar aao, dosa lekar aao, puri lekar aao, is what we'll say. It's an order. We say, you do this, just an order. If they become order takers, then we're not helping them to scale up. It has to be leader creation. So the beauty is, we always say the role of a leader is to create leaders. And that should be the main thought process wherein they become the future managers. If you start looking at it, and we are not telling that everybody should be the future managers, but you start highlighting, I think this person shows the potential. So I have to work towards helping him to become a leader in the organization. And then comes the most important aspect. What is the firm value? So what do I mean by what is the firm value? Does the value of the firm equal to its proprietor? Is the value of the firm equal to its two partners, three partners? That's all is the value of the firm. And I think you have a very low valuation. What is the real asset value? As a solution is, if you want a high valuation, the firm's value should not be equal to the proprietor or the two partners, three partners, or the founders who are there. It should be equal to the institution that you have built. That means whatever your personal capabilities are there is always only a premium to the valuation. But the core valuation should be that of the firm as an institution, and not because you are there and the valuation is only because of you. So that means, what is the practice system we need to adopt? So let's jump into this aspect. So let me explain to you what I mean by a practice system. So when we're talking about a CA practice, you have to ensure a CA practice system is documented. It is supported by tools. This is such an important aspect, isn't it? What do we mean by supported by tools? And I used to always tell, I'm sure you also understand what I'm saying. When we talk about Lord Shiva, what is the tool that you always relate Lord Shiva with? What is the equipment you relate Lord Shiva with? It's a Trishul. Fantastic. When I say Lord Vishnu, what is the tool that you relate Lord Vishnu with? Oh, it's a Vishnu Chakra. When I say Lord Hanuman, what is the tool you associate Hanuman with? Oh, it's a Gada. I think the Hindu mythology is also trying to teach all of us a few business concepts. What is it that they're trying to teach us? The power of a person enhances with the power of the tools he carries with him. So I think it's so important to understand that we need to be equipped with lot of tools. That's what gives us enhanced power. If you have seen mythologically all those religious movies or any of them, you will find that suddenly when we talk about Durga Mata, she comes with some 10 hands, and you will find there are tools in each of those hands. I think it's a symbolic way of telling all of us, oh, we can become that powerful Durga if we have all the tools with us. And it's so important to start understanding that we have to accept that we are powerful if we have three things with us. What are the three things that will make us powerful? Number one, we need to have a very good process. Number two, we need to have tools. And number three, of course, is our people with whom we relate to. That is the executors of our office. So very important to understand this. So let me explain one by one. Let's take the process. We know very well for all our clients, we only tell SOP, standard operating procedures. Now we are very good in creating SOPs for our clients, isn't it? But when it comes to our own practice, it always takes a backseat. Now there is always a saying, right? For the outside world is willing to do everything, but for the home, it does not do anything. It's like that. We do everything for our clients. We advise our clients, ye karna hai, wo karna hai, business mein aisa rehna hai, business mein waisa rehna hai. Everything we'll tell our clients. But when it comes to our own practices, not that we don't want to do, just that I think we are too overly busy with the day-to-day routines. Like how I told you, what others can do, if I am busily doing it, then what only I can do, it never gets done. I think the real role of a CA practitioner is to ensure that he steps back and has some time to reflect on himself, because that on which you spend time will start growing. I'm so happy for all of you who have joined the session. That means you're willing to spend time on yourself. You're willing to spend time on your own growth. I'm very proud of your decision that, hey, I think I should have some time for myself, for my growth, because we spend all the time on the client, obviously helping them to grow. But if we spend that time on ourselves, I think we can also grow. It's not that we don't know anything. It's just that we are not giving that time, that process to be done. So create SOPs as to what has to be done and who will do what in your organization. First requirement. Second, clear timelines. Detailing by when these tasks are due. Very important. Okay, we'll always say, हाँ वो करना ये करना, but we don't put a timeline for it. If we don't put a timeline for what we want to do, then it will never happen. कल करेंगे, परसों करेंगे, कभी नहीं करेंगे, right? And then, I used to always tell this. CA, my definition of CA, right? For me, my definition of CA is C stands for consistency and A stands for accountability. So the biggest challenge for a CA practice to grow is that CA is missing in the CA practice. What do you mean CA is missing in the CA practice? What is that CA missing? Consistency and accountability. Let me talk about consistency first. When it comes to consistency, whatever we do, I've written this word consistency here for you. I've highlighted just now. You have to ensure that once you take some decision, there has to be consistency in following it up, because we get motivated by sessions like this. Yes, I think I've understood. Oh, I think what I know what where my mistakes are. Oh, let me do like this. Let me do like that. All that we will tell. 2 days we will do also. After that, gone. Back to busy schedules, back to deadlines, back to the daily rut that we have to go through. And then everything what we had thought about takes a back seat. And then we get ready for one more session to get motivated again. So first, for me, CA is the first C, that is the concept of consistency. If you decide that you want to do something, then you have to be consistently monitoring that you are working on it on a regular basis. That is C, consistency. And the second aspect is the A in CA. C was for consistency, A is for accountability. So what do you mean by accountability? Most important, my dear friends. Just imagine this, okay? I'm sure you understand what I'm trying to tell you here. When we were in school, we were accountable to our teachers because teacher will ask us, hey, did you do that homework? Hey, did you study this and come? Hey, now do you know how to recite this poem? So we were accountable to our teachers. No wonder they ensured that we consistently kept on performing because we were accountable to them and we had our growth happening consistently. Whether it is school or college, it's the same thing. Let's talk about a Virat Kohli. A Virat Kohli is a fantastic cricketer. A Sachin Tendulkar is a fantastic cricketer. Sachin Tendulkar is considered as a god of cricket. So, because Sachin Tendulkar is a god of cricket, does it mean he doesn't have a coach? Oh, he has a coach. Now, if Sachin himself is a god of cricket, then why does he need a coach? CA, consistency, accountability. Now, because there is a coach for a Virat Kohli, there's a coach for a Sachin Tendulkar. Because there's a coach, they become accountable to the coach. They will ensure that there is consistency in their practices. Why? Because there's a coach with them. It's so important. In the olden days, during the times when kings were ruling, I'm sure you would have heard of this. The king is the boss of the entire kingdom, no doubt about it. He is the boss. Agreed. But they all had a Rajaguru. Now, why did the king have a Rajguru? Because he also wants to be accountable for his decisions. He's to ask the Rajguru, hey, is this right what I'm doing? Am I in the right direction? So you need to have a coach. Unfortunate, okay? Even look at this. It's so unfortunate that in every aspect of our life, we have a coach. But when it comes to business, we are all alone. What do you mean we're all alone? I have to take my own decisions. I don't even know whom to go and talk to because I somehow feel, my ego comes in between. How to go and tell my problems to somebody else? How will I share what I'm going through with my family? No, I can't. So there are a few things I feel lonely and I start thinking, okay, I'll take my own decisions, right or wrong, बाद में देखेंगे क्या होगा. Very important that you need to be accountable to somebody. That means I'm sure, and what I mean by this, you need to ensure that you have a business coach with you. Who can be the business coach? I'm telling you today, if you look up to somebody and you feel that person has achieved something in life, you go and talk to him and tell him, sir, I am really inspired by what you have done. Can you share with me about how you could achieve this, as to what I should do? Do you know if there are 100 people who are successful, I can guarantee you 99 of them will never tell you, no, I will not tell you how I succeeded. Oh, they'll be more than happy to share their secrets of success with you. Or if it has to be a professional engagement, okay, so what? Even if it's a professional engagement, professionally engage somebody so that you also get those consistency and accountability for whatever happens. So therefore, I use this word consistency here. Now come to the tools part. You need to have a tool tech stack. whether it is Tally, whether it is Zoho Books, whether it's an income tax portal, Tax Pros, Google Sheets, WhatsApp, Notion, whatever. These are just examples. Okay. So therefore, none of them is that only this you should follow, only that. Since we are all in practice, we know these kind of, we know Tally, we know Zoho. Therefore, I'm just using this terminology. So there can be many more. It can be Odoo. It can be SAP. It can be any of them. It doesn't matter. It can be Oracle. So I'm just telling you that it's all about having tools. So it can be your own tools that you need to create, saying that, oh, you create your own AI tools, saying that, hey, this is how I'm going to create for it. No, but I don't know how to create AI tools. There are so many of them. Just nazar badlo, nazariya badlega. Just ensure that you get your mind opened up. Automatically, there are 100 resources available if you look around that side, this side, who can help you out. Then come to the people part of it. Now, when it comes to people, they should be trained on the SOP. Here we talked about SOP, correct? Then you have to ensure that you are training them on this SOP aspect. Very important. And they are accountable. Now, can you see the word accountability here? You see? I talked about consistency on the one side, and I'm talking about accountability on the other side. You have to make, just like I told you that you should be accountable. Now, that's the beauty of it. Now, that's one of the biggest reasons that, when we as a business coach talk to when I talk to my mentees, they always tell me, sir, no, because I'm accountable to you and you will ensure that we are consistently doing it, it happens. No rocket science. No rocket science anywhere. Anywhere, anybody, it's okay, doesn't matter. Consistency, accountability. Now, just like I told you must be accountable to somebody, ensure your team is also always accountable for the outcomes and not just in performing the task. You should make them accountable for the outcome of it. Empower to execute without constant supervision. See, micro don't do, please. I've already told you this in the previous slide. It has to be a macro management only, and therefore you'll empower them onto what they should do. I'm sure all of you have your own audit programs, checklists, isn't it? Now, all these audit program checklists, is it in your head? Wherein everything is installed here, saying that, I know what to do, I know how to check, I know what to do, or do you have it in the form of a proper SOP when everybody are forced to follow it? So in fact, the way you should be doing it is, once you've created a checklist, you give it to the team and say, only if you show me that everything has been ticked in this checklist, I will see. Otherwise, don't even come to me. Now, I don't want to again go through this checklist again. That's what you look at as macro instead of being a micro management. Then in the beginning, I told you, I'll give you 6 core systems every firm needs. I call this as a system architecture. So what are the 6 core systems every firm needs? Very important, okay? Number 1, client onboarding. The first impression that you create and the first impression of a client coming into your organization. If you are onboarding a client, the KYC checklist that has to be done. What kind of a portal setup do you have? What is the engagement letter you're signing with him? Because you need to have clarity of what is it that he's asking for and what is the expectation he has got, and therefore enter into the engagement letter. Create an SOP for that. And then how are you going to collect the documents? Do you have a separate drive for collecting all the documents, or do you have a separate team which does this? All this is part of client onboarding. Very important to create proper systems on client onboarding. In so many cases, when we do this mentoring, we find that client is just like that onboarded. There's no process, no procedures. In fact, I ask sometimes, hey, how did you get this client? Now I don't remember. He is there with me from many years. Arey yaar, you don't even know how you got this client. That means you don't even have a track record. Was it referred by somebody? Is it that they heard you somewhere in some seminar? Is it that they saw some post of yours and that's how they came? Very important to understand that we should know from where we are getting the clients, number 1. We need to know what is the deliverable and set the expectations right through the engagement letter. All this is part of our client onboarding process. First, system architecture that you must have in your organization. Everybody should know, if a client is coming in, this is how he has to come in. In fact, I'm sure you'll be having it later point of time. I do take some long sessions only on deciding the ICP. ICP is your ideal customer profiling. Need to be very clear who is your ideal customer that you want to work with and whom you don't want to work with. What is your skill set? What is not your skill set? Sometimes we simply agree to do every job. हाँ, किसी ने पूछा इसलिए ले लिया, अभी सोचेंगे क्या करना है. If that's not your ideal client, then you should not be onboarding such clients. You should take clients which is now ready for your system that you have developed. Or no, I want to take more. Oh, you want to diversify? No problem. If you want to do that, then first gear up and then tell, okay, I'm in my ICP, I'm adding some more people. I have no problem if you do that also. But then to start with, be clear about who is your ideal customer profiling and do the client onboarding accordingly. Then you have the compliance calendar that will give you peace of mind. Compliance should not be in your mind. Which date is today? Oh, I need to check whether the deadline has come. You need to have a deadline tracker per client. For each of the client, ensure there's a tracker and give this responsibility to the team. Saying that, hey, it's your responsibility. No, but I think team will forget. Then you create automated reminders. Today, everything is possible. Create automated reminders. It will go by itself. Create a filing status dashboard so that everybody in your team, everybody in the organization knows, hey, these are the things which should have been filed. Check whether done or not done. And at any point of time, you look at the dashboard, you need to know, this is done or this is not done. Work delivery. So what I mean by work delivery, the quality controls. We know as professionals, what matters the most is the quality of our deliverable. Very important for us, isn't it? What are the quality controls we have? And for that, how are you assigning? How are you allocating the tasks? How is the working papers being prepared? What are the standards you have created for the working papers also? What is the review checklist procedure you have? Who is the person who is doing it and who is going to review that work? And is there a checklist to understand how to review it also? And then who is going to put a sign off saying that, yes, it's all ready for delivery to the client? This system is very important to understand about assignment, allocation, working papers, checklist, review, sign off. Create this entire flow for your work delivery. That's your third important system that you need to have in your firm. Why am I telling? But I'm a sole proprietor. I don't want all this. I can do it myself. Fair enough. If you are happy to remain as a sole proprietor, you're happy to continue to do what you want to do, then absolutely no problem. You can continue what you're doing. What we are discussing is only if you have a mindset of growth. If we are saying, no, I want to grow further, I want to expand it, and I don't want the entire firm to be dependent only on me. All those questions I've answered in the beginning between micromanagement and macro management. If that is the objective, this is what is going to work. No, I will remain proprietor, then none of this is required. We can do however we want, whatever we want. Right? No, I will slog 24 hours, then no problem, none of this is required. No, I don't want to slog. I want to create systems. Then here are the 6 core systems you have to create. Fourth system, billing and collection. This is something which I was, in fact, I'm sure most of you also, if you do an honest assessment of yourself, you'll understand. I know so many of the CA practices wherein I used to ask some of the mentees when we were mentoring, hey, when do you send out the bill for having done the work? No, he is my known client. First काम खत्म कर लेंगे, बाद में देखेंगे ना, बिलिंग कर लेंगे उसके बाद में. अभी सीजन चल रहा है, डेडलाइंस है, ड्यू डेट्स है. I can't waste my time on billing, all those things. So I will wait for at the end, after everything is done, later on we will see. Oh, I see. So will we tell this to our employees? अभी डेडलाइन है, नेक्स्ट 2-3 months का डेडलाइन है, तो सैलरी नहीं देंगे, बाद में देखेंगे. विल यू टेल दिस टू योर इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बोर्ड, वाटर बोर्ड? नहीं, अभी डेडलाइन चल रहा है, 2-3 months का ऑडिट सीजन है, उसके बाद इलेक्ट्रिसिटी वाटर बिल पे करेंगे. We don't. So that means cash flow is equally important. So you need to ensure that the invoice is getting triggered. immediately on completion of the work. So that's the link between work delivery and billing here. Once work delivery is happening, you need to ensure that the invoice is getting triggered. And invoice triggering itself is not sufficient. You have sent the invoice. You have to do a follow-up for the payments. Otherwise, we will also leave it. They will be more than happy to leave it. Nobody is asking. If they give, they will give. Otherwise, suddenly you will wake up and suddenly remember, hey, payment in AI, we have not seen it only. And then we say, oh, and then one age. We have to do this on a regular basis. So it should be part of your core system. What is that? Invoice will be triggered the moment there's a delivery of it. Beautiful. Once delivery of the output is given, then what is stopping you from collecting your payment? Why are we feeling guilty for our own money? Saying that, no, how to ask? Arey, there was an engagement letter. I hope that was my first point of client onboarding. You had an engagement letter. Very clearly in the engagement letter, you have made the terms of engagement very clear. You're told that this is how we are going to do. This is what I want advance, or this is what we'll do the work. And after the work, this is what I want the payment to be made in so and so time. All that is already agreed. He has also signed, you have also signed, provided you have the first system in place of client onboarding. If everything has been signed, it has been agreed upon, then why the hesitation? You need to ensure that you have a system for invoicing, payment follow-up, create an SOP for that also, and have an aging report review every month. Ensure that you see very clearly, hey, this guy invoice gaya tha, as per EL, what we have sent, they're supposed to make the payment in so and so days, check whether the payment has come or not. We do all this for our clients now. Data's aging, yeah, or AP, AR, all that we'll check for our clients, correct? We need to do it for ourselves also, for our own businesses also. Client communication. That is what is the query response that happens. Ensure that your reply goes off in 24 hours. Very important. Is something which I always tell. Having a good client relationship is so important. The client should not feel neglected. So if there is a query from a client, ensure that your response is given within 24 hours. I remember in office, one of the articles came to me and told, sir, you told we have to give response in 24 hours. Now the client has sent an email telling that when will I get the audit report? Oh, audit report I can't give in 24 hours. Client is telling I want audit report. He's put it in the mail. I want audit report. Now audit report will happen only after 15 days. So therefore I'll reply to the client only after 15 days. Take your audit report. That's not what it is, isn't it? So when we say you have to respond to the client, he says, hey, I want audit report. Within 24 hours, you can still reply to the client telling him, yes, sir, your work is in progress. Your team has given this data. These are the queries that we have raised. These queries, your team said they need another few more days to get it clarified. We're waiting for all these supporting documents. Then the discussions are happening. After that is done, we're going to sit with you to understand whether the team's understanding, our understanding is correct or not. Oh, that should be done. And that's what you write it as a mail and give it to me in 24 hours and say, and therefore your audit report will come only after 15 days. And then some simple things that we can all adopt. Standard email templates. There are, if you actually sit down and see, out of 100 emails that is going out of your office, all of you can check and see, because I've done this study for most of our clients and I've seen it. In most of the CA clients which I've seen this when we were doing this business mentoring for them. Out of 100 emails that goes out from your office, more than 55 emails will be for a similar reply. What do you mean by similar? What they would have asked and what you have to reply is more or less similar. Facts may change, but more or less the whole concept is similar. What is the deadline? What happened to my file? What happened to this? So very similar ones. For all of them, you can create standard email templates so that there is no waste of time even for your team. They know for this kind of an email, this is my template. This is how we are going to reply, and only fill in the blanks will be there to match with the facts of the case and so on. Similarly, with your client, notice handling protocol or escalations protocol must be clearly established, saying that if this is the situation, then who should handle this matter? If this is a situation, you have to escalate this to the partner. If this is the situation, you can handle it like this. You have to create a system for client communication. And finally, team and knowledge. I call this as the growth engine. What do you mean? Whether you're onboarding an article in your office, or whether you're onboarding a paid assistant, or a manager, junior manager, executive, associate, whomever you're onboarding, there has to be an onboarding kit. There has to be a weekly training calendar. There has to be a central library of all the SOPs so that they know where to refer, where to get what. And you need to have what we popularly call it as an induction program. We are not willing to spend time when people join our organization and then we start cribbing, ये समझता क्यों नहीं है, ये हमारा ऑफिस स्टाइल नहीं है, ये फिट नहीं हो रहा है हमारा ऑफिस में, why is not understanding what we are supposed to do. Sweethearts, if we are not doing enough of induction, making them understand how our office should be. In fact, I used to give a big checklist to some of them, telling that, hey, this is how you need to create an onboarding activity for your team also. Right from asking questions like, in the interview, what all questions you should have asked. When you hire, what is the first thing you have to take care when you hire? Is there somebody who is going to be a buddy? We use the word buddy. Wherein when he comes in, there's a buddy attached. That means one of the existing employees of your office will be with him. Even the simplest of things we don't tell. That fellow Papa newly has joined your office. He does not even know where the toilet is. He does not know the layout of this place. One day the person is feeling shy. Even to ask, this uncomfortable feeling is not good for anybody. There are a few things we should make it very clear. There should be a buddy who says, see, look at, this is the cabin. This is the boss. This is where the boss is. This is where the manager is. This is how the workflow will happen. This is where we have all the files kept. We have the library here. This is how you have to log in. If it is a tech-driven entity, this is the internal software we use. This is how you log in. This is the IT team. If you have any issues, this is how you ask. All that you should give enough of clarity when you onboard them. And then most importantly, you have to help them scale up. I told you it cannot be micromanagement. If it has to be macro, you're creating leaders. They have to be trained. Every week, ensure there's a training calendar. You decide who is going to be trained on what and what is the objective. What are the KRIs? What is the OKRs you're going to set for all that? OKRs is your objectives and key results. KPIs is your key performance indicators. So you need to ensure all this has been put in place for your team and for creating that knowledge. I think you're very clear on the 6 core systems every firm needs. Fantastic. So quick recap on these 6 core systems: client onboarding process, compliance calendars, work delivery process, billing and collections, client communications, building the team as a growth engine. This, I feel, is the most important aspect for you. Having done all this, now let me give you an 8-step blueprint. Here is a 8-step blueprint for you. What do you mean by this? If you want to build your practice system, identify the pain first. What do you mean identify the pain first? It means where is the time leaking or where is the quality inconsistent. Example, tedious filing is always happening on the last day. That means there is some inconsistency in the way things are being done in this particular aspect especially. Or maybe you're doing audits. Every time there is some audit issue which is getting missed, which is not getting captured properly. That means you don't have internal quality system correctly for that. So identify the pain, number 1. Once you've identified the pain as to where is the leaking, document the reality. That means observe your team closely, map how it actually works, not how it should have worked. Don't bother about how it should have worked. First, you focus on the reality, how it is actually happening, so that you are able to see we call it as the RCA. What is RCA? Root cause analysis. So you have to do a root cause analysis to understand what is happening there. In the process, as in the process happening, document everything. Once you have done that second part, which is as is, then eliminate waste is the third step. That means remove duplicate. There are many duplications. We will record in this Excel sheet also. Yes, we'll say we have to upload in this Excel sheet also. Then there is one software we have created, there also we have to upload. Oh, then there's one more checklist, there also we have to put. Everywhere we keep. Oh, this also, there also. So remove all the duplications wherever possible and cut down the redundant approvals. Simply we tell you go and take approval. He is not even checking. Like, you know how some of them do. I've seen. नहीं, I've given one phone to him. इसको phone क्यों दिया? No, so that he'll take my OTPs. अरे, then what was the use of having the OTP concept there? If he is only handling your phone and he's having all the OTPs, then why the hell are you creating the system? Then you find out a better system of what can be done. You cut down on the redundant approvals. You know, anyway, he's not checking. And that approval was not required also. You have to start looking at eliminating all the waste items. And once you have done that, you have understood, okay, now I know what should not be done. Knowing what to do is very important, but knowing what not to do is also equally important. Then you build the SOP once you've got this clarity. You start defining the standards with the clarity of who will do what step. Not only telling who will do what step, first of all, you have to tell what are the steps. Then you have to tell who will do what step. And then you, very importantly, you have to see by when it has to be done. By what tool should I use to do this? And what is the output I'm expecting from this activity? All that should be documented. That is called as building the SOP. And for building all this and to execute all these things, you have to choose the tools. You have to choose, take the right tech which fits you the best. I don't know what is the tech. It can be WhatsApp, it can be your Google Sheets, it can be your Excel sheets, it can be your OneNote, it can be your Tax Pro, Zoho, Tally, whatever you're using. Ensure that you have your tools and then you're integrating these SOPs with those tools. And also when I'm talking about tools, always be aware, CA Institute itself is coming out with so many resources. In fact, I know so many of them have not even seen the number of resources CA Institute has been providing, especially recently, right? In the last couple of recent times, I've seen CA Institute coming out with amazing resources, amazing tools, amazing ideas that is already available for us, for all of us to have and look at it. But utilization of many of them don't even know it is available. So start looking into all these things. And then, as I already told you, train the team. You have to walk through. See, no SOP will work in your office if you have not trained the team as to how it has to be used. If you don't train them how to use and you leave it to them to find out themselves, nobody is interested. And then you have to test and refine it also, because once you start implementing it, you'll realize, I think this step is unnecessarily creating a problem. Or you'll realize, hey, I think this step is missing. We have to add one more step. Do all that. Run it for 4 weeks. Track the errors. Analyze the time taken and then improve your SOP itself. And then finally, scale next. You have to build one new system per month. Every month, put it as a target. I will build a new system per month for this activity this month, this activity next month. And in 6 months, you will find that your firm is running very differently from how it was 6 months ago, wherein you will shift your review outputs, not activities. You will manage all the exceptions and not every step of it. Now come to before versus after. If you adopt all these things, what is the benefit we will get? And this is called as a CA firm reality. Before you bring in all the systems, what used to happen? After you create all these systems, what we have discussed today, what will happen? Before putting all these systems, partner was mentally tracking 40+ dead trains across all clients. Whereas after you create systems, you will have a weekly dashboard and the team will own the calendar. Partner will only review it. Before, what used to happen, everybody used to come to you even for the small decisions. Sir, should I do like this? Should I do like that? For even for the smallest of things, they used to come to you, run to you only. Whereas now you will follow what is called as a decision tree SOP. You will create a decision tree SOP saying that, hey, this activity you have to approach this person. Create an organization chart, hierarchy. For this, you have to contact him. He will tell you what to do. For this, you contact this person, and only escalations will come to you. Similarly, old style, see whether your GST filings, all those things are happening only by the 19th in panic mode. Or will you say, I will start off from the 8th itself, and on 14th, there should not be any panic, right? And complete everything by 14th itself. This is just a thought. I mean, GST is just an example. No, you don't please ask the right back saying that, no, this data only would not have come. That would not have come. How will I do? This is just an example. It's an illustration. So it need not be GST. It can be something else. What it's saying is thought. At the thought level, if we start thinking that no, nothing can be done, then nothing can be done. In the beginning, I already told you, there is nothing right or wrong in what we do. There's nothing called as a wrong style of working, right style of working. Because what we feel, we do. At our maturity, this is how we know we will do it like that. So there's nothing wrong in that. So if at all our mindset is very freezed into the fact that no, all this cannot be done, this will not work. Correct. You are right, it will not work. That's a beautiful statement, isn't it? If you think you are right, you are right. If you think you are wrong, you are still right. So if you think you are wrong, you're still right means what? Thinking decides everything. I told you. If you change, nazar badlo, nazariya badlega. We have to start. जैसी होगी हमारी दृष्टि वैसी होगी हमारी सृष्टि. So our firm will be the way we think. If we think no, nothing is going to happen, then you are right. Nothing will happen. But if you think there is always a better way, there is always a better way. I always tell this statement, my dear friends. I've always told this in all my mentoring sessions. Everywhere I do the business coaching, I tell them to all my mentees, you are good. I repeat, you are good. But do not allow the best to become the enemy of your good. So what's happening now is you are good, and your good only is becoming the enemy of your best. Meaning what? I'm good. Yes, I'm good. But if you stop there, that good will become the enemy of the best. We are good, but I think there's always a better way of doing something. And we have to start looking at what is that better way. With AI is coming in, with technologies changing, there's always a better way of doing things. Start identifying what is that better way I can adopt. Old style, if before adopting any systems, a 3-day outstation trip means delayed work for the firm. Whereas now, nothing. After you create the systems, partner is away, but the firm runs on SOPs. Before, what used to happen? Billing was raised ad hoc. Collections used to suffer. Whereas once you adopt all the systems, billing gets auto-triggered, post your filings, etc., or deliverables, and you get a weekly review of what has to be done. That means you, my dear friend, you will shift from a hardest worker in the organization, because you are the hardest worker in the organization. It's a disguised employment. At least employees have the freedom to take off whenever they want, but you are permanently employed there because you don't know what to do. From a hardest worker in your own firm, you have to become the most strategic leader. Only you can think of the strategies. Team can always think of performing it for you. So from a hardest worker, you must shift to become a strategic leader. And that's the process from before to after creating and building these core systems, what I've told you. Now come to the action checklist for this week. So what's your action checklist for this week? I told you, there's in fact, I've also done my MSc in psychology. So one of the researches we had done, during those days of when I used to present some thesis papers on psychology, there's one of those beautiful research which was done, which I'm sure many of you know it because it's a universally known research, not mine. So it's a research which is there from decades. One of the research very beautifully says, if you have understood something today, like our session which is happening now, and you feel it was useful, and you felt there were some points that you should implement, these are the criteria. Once you have felt that these are the things I think I should implement, you know what the research says? If your mind has decided that it has to implement something, and if it does not get implemented in the next 24 hours, it will never get implemented ever. And that is why I'm giving you this checklist for this week. From chaos to clarity, starting Monday morning. I hope we are Monday, correct? So today is Monday. So from today, okay, morning is not there now, isn't it, right? So from today, what is it that you need to do? Identify and delegate. List at least 5 tasks. Very important, huh? List 5 tasks only you will do. I told you there are certain things only you can do. Like how we have discussed today's session, deciding on the SOPs, creating a client onboarding style. Only you can do all these things. Nobody else will do it for you. And then also decide about 2 things to document and delegate immediately. Immediately find out what are the 2 things you can delegate. You're already delegating many things, but you now start seeing that, okay, I'm doing this also, I'm doing that also. Let me see what is delegatable. Very important. Next, build your first SOP. I'm not telling that all SOPs should be ready. At least one you start working on it, no? For the next 1 week. Document your most recurring compliance task step by step as to how you do. Document it, create an SOP for it. Then next Monday, I told you this is a 1 week plan, isn't it? Next Monday, you must have a team huddle. Set a structured 30 minutes meeting every Monday to align on weekly priorities. Shared compliance calendar. Create a central calendar accessible to the whole team, removing the mental load from you. Very important. You must have your own calendars, templates, communication template. I have told you that many of these communications are repeated communications. Create standard email templates for your query responses. Keep that ready. And then whatever tweaking has to be done will be done. That's called standardization. The style, if a report is going from your office, everybody should know that, hey, this is how this report comes from this office. Right? Everybody should know. If an opinion is being given by Mr. So-and-so, we always know that this opinion will be like this. The flow, the style, right? The way you put it as a structure is always in the template format. And then monthly practice MIS. You have to have a schedule and review for your revenues, that is your sales that is happening, the collections that is happening, the pending work that is there, the team load. Every month there should be an MIS for you to understand within the organization, within the teams, how it is being done. And take one 30-day challenge. I've given that to you in the bold at the end. Build one system, document it, train the team, take a step back and see how it is working. And of course, if it is still in its infant stages, then revisit it, rework on it, make the alignments, make the corrections, and again, build it, document it, train the team, and again take a step back and see how it is working. Oh, is it going to be easy? Nothing is easy in life, my friends. Nothing is easy. But is it required? Oh, definitely required. I want to be healthy. Is it easy? Oh, no, definitely not easy. But can it be done? Okay, yes, it can be done. Is exercise easy? No, it is not easy. But is it required? Definitely required. Exercise is required. awareness about what to eat, what not to eat is required. Required. Easy? No, definitely not easy. Since I've talked about this point, 2 words for you. What are those 2 words? Easy or right? Am I doing things which are easy, or am I doing things which are right? That mindset, if it changes, I think everything will change. Am I trying to do things which are easy? Oh, no, I'm used to doing this. Oh, from 3 years, I'm doing like this only. From 10 years, I'm doing like this only. Am I doing something which is easy? Or am I now trying to do things which are right? If what is right has to be done, then our focus is not on what is easy. If it is right, then it is right. It has to be done. And that is your checklist for this week. If you do all this, what we have discussed till now, you will build a firm worthy of your credentials. The shift from technician to architect starts today. This is something which I always quote, and here is my quote. The best CA firms are not built by the most technically brilliant partner. They are built by the most systematized practice and most trusted team. It's not about how technically brilliant you are, your partner is. That's not what builds the firms. What builds the firms is, are you creating systems in your practice? And do you have a trusted team? And the trust of the team will come if you start training them and make them realize that you're creating them as leaders. Now, if you do all this, what we have discussed today, you will find the first shift, and that is from chaos to clarity. That will be the first shift you will see, that from chaos, you're entering into clarity. And the second shift you will see is from micromanagement, you will go towards leadership. And finally, the business does not run on you. The business should run for you. The CA firm should run for you. And there's a lot of difference. My dear friends, you studied for years to earn the CA credential. Now build an institution, not a one-person show. I think for what efforts we have put in to achieve what we have achieved, I think it deserves to remain as a legacy institution and not just as one independent one-person show. Having said this, let me conclude. The best CA firms are not built by the most technically brilliant partner. They are built by the most systematized practice and the most trusted team. I'm just repeating this again for you because I feel it's most important. From chaos to clarity, micromanagement to macro leadership, business should not run on you, it should run for you. Having said this, my dear friends, I hope that you will begin the change from now and not wait for a beautiful day for you to start. And the beautiful day is M Day, that is Monday, and that is today. Let's start from today. And if you want me to share some more of the resources I have, you can even you scan this QR code and or send me a mail to hello@veeramble.com. I will be happy to share because I'm more happy. And this is purely only for those who are participating in the CA Institute's webinar only. Otherwise, this will be charged. It comes at a cost of 3,999 is what I charge for this. But if you have come today, because I'm so happy that you are attending this session, for you, I'm happy to give it to you free because you have a mindset to grow. You have a mindset to change. And I appreciate your mindset. And as my token of appreciation to you for creating that mindset that you want to grow and change, I'll give this to you free. So please, you can have a look at it, take it. You can send a mail also. We will reply back to you. We'll give you this so that I want all of you to grow from control to clarity. Love you all. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to take it.
Thank you so much, sir. As we are moving towards the wrapping up today's session, the message from CA Vijay Raja is, sir, clear. Growth in a CA practice is not about working harder. It's about building a structure that works without you. Sir, with your permission, I would like to take up some questions which I have received from the participants across the country. So the first question is, in CA firms where partners work in silos, what are the biggest trust barriers and how can they be practically overcome?
Right. First point, I think some of the things I would have already answered in the course of discussion, but I don't mind repeating a few things. One of the aspects I always see when it comes to silos practice is called as the trust factor. It is a trust barrier. What do you mean by a trust barrier? I trust myself only. I don't trust anybody else. So when somebody told me this, saying that, no, I don't trust, I don't trust others, so therefore I want to be silo. So I used to ask them, then how do you, where is your house? They'll tell me this is where my house is. And where is your office? This is where my office is. Oh, how far is it? Oh, it's some 3 kilometers, 5 kilometers. So how do you go? Oh, no, I take my vehicle and I go. I told them, wow, that means on the way you're willing to trust 1 million people on the road who are strangers that they'll not come and bang you. And you're still willing to drive the vehicle and go. Oh, no, I go by bus. Oh, you're willing to you're willing to trust the bus driver, yeah, who is much lesser educated than you. You're okay to trust him. So we trust everybody, not realizing that we're actually trusting. We can't live in this world without trusting people. And when it comes to growth, when it comes to adding a partner, we talk about, hey, I don't trust. I think that's not how life works. Life works on trust. So the biggest aspect, if you ask me as an answer, is there's a trust barrier. Okay, but how do I now remove the trust barrier? Fine. Okay, ठीक है. वो trust barrier है, क्या करना है? Create transparency. What I mean by create transparency, create your MOU between you and him. This is what I want you to do. This is what I will do. And let us create our own KPIs. We create KPIs for our teams. ये करना है, वो करना है. Let's create KPIs for ourselves. That we will do this, we will do that. And once that transparency is created as performance metrics for ourselves, then we will not be worried about sharing responsibilities with somebody else. I hope I've answered that question.
Yes, sir, absolutely right. Sir, my next question is, how can firms shift from a my client, my team approach to a firm first mindset without creating insecurity in between partners?
Such a beautiful point. Actually, a very good question. Whoever asked this question. Because I've seen many of them in the guise of telling that we are growing big now. I also want to grow big. So what they'll do is partners will come together. Tera client tera, mera client mera. So then it is actually not called as partnership firm. It is actually called as co-working space. What I mean by co-working space, we are all sharing the rent of one building. And then I have my team, my clients, you have your team, your clients. It's a co-working space. It's not a partnership firm in reality. That means we are not actually taking the advantages of synergies. Then how do I build it? First, we have to change the mindset. What do you mean change the mindset? From me first mindset to a firm first mindset. That means in all the decisions we take, the firm will be above me. Like in the Vedas, it is so beautifully told, just to have a small deviation from what it's a detour. In Bhagavad Gita, there's a beautiful shloka in which Krishna tells that if you really want to set goals which are larger than you. What do you mean larger than you? He says set goals which are larger than you, which is for the larger benefit. If you set goals which are larger than you and for the larger benefit, incidentally your personal benefit will happen. So if the firm is growing and your objective is to ensure the firm grows, incidental beneficiary is you only, you will also grow. But only if you are growing, your team is growing and not the firm, it's just a matter of time that you'll again be back to silos. Which means this mindset of saying that any decisions we take in the firm will be firm first decisions and not my and my team as the criteria. I'll give you 2-3 tips for this. Tip number 1, let's say partner A has his team, his clients. Partner B has his team, his clients. Partner C also his team, his clients, and similarly, that's how they're working. Now, tomorrow you feel that you can grow further. Now you want to hire chartered accountant into your organization as a executive manager. You'll start thinking, अरे यार, मेरे profit से अभी 12 लाख चला जाएगा. The 12 lakhs will go from my profit. नहीं, अभी नहीं करेंगे. No, we don't want. You will not grow only, no, after that. Why? Because every time you feel it will hit my. Now imagine the same thing if you start thinking firm first. We are hiring a CA for the firm to grow. Now you have 5 partners. Now the same 1 lakh per month what you are planning to give from your pocket, it will be from 5 partners, means you take it as the overheads cost. You're not taking as your personal vertical cost. If it is taken as a overheads cost, that means you're talking about 20,000 rupees only that is hitting you. So imagine for you, you're getting the services of a chartered accountant for 20,000 in your organization for you. If you understand, it's just an example what I'm trying to tell you. And then you allocate, give him the JD. That is a job description saying that I expect you to do this. Then means every partners, we call it as time buyback. This is the terminology I use. We have buyback of shares. Like that, I also use one terminology called as buyback of time. By you hiring a good resource and delegating the work, you're able to buy back the time by paying money. So the 20,000 what you're paying is to buy back another 2 hours of free time for yourself. And in that 2 hours is when you build systems. In the 2 hours is when you create strategies. That means you have bought the 2 hours by paying 20,000 rupees. It's worth it.
Very right, sir. Again, sir, a very burning and realistic question from a young chartered accountant. His question is, sir, in a young firm, what should be the focus? Talented but expensive team or cost-effective but fresher graduate team?
You know, one client asked me one question. Sir, cheap and best mein ho jayega? I said, cheap and best are not synonymous words. If it is cheap, it can't be best. If it is best, it will never be cheap. Right?
Very true, sir.
So there's not. So it's a very unfair statement to use the word cheap and best. There's nothing called cheap and best. If it is best, it cannot be cheap. If it is cheap, it cannot be the best. So same thing we say, a beautiful statement saying that if you pay peanuts, you will get monkeys.
Exactly.
And that's the truth of life. Now, when it comes to whom to hire, let me now answer it on a serious note. Look, whom to hire depends on 2 aspects. 1, my affordability at this stage. At the stage in which I am, what is my affordability? Second, what is the ROI I expect from that resource? The biggest drawback I have seen till now in my experiences, our interview process itself is wrong. What I mean our interview process itself is wrong. I'll just give one small example, okay, for all of you who are listening to this. Just think about what we all do in office, okay? Now there's a big client who has come, a new client, and he says, come and present about what you will do for us. The way we will prepare our pitch deck, the way we'll prepare ourselves, the way we'll be ready to go and impress the client about what we are going to do is at one different level. When it comes to hiring somebody, there is no branding at all from our side. In the sense, we are not putting the same efforts to say, hey, you know what, this is my office. This is how we work. This is our style. We have not put that much of efforts as much we put for a client. When it comes to hiring, I feel hiring is an equal task, as good as if revenue is important, hiring a right resource also is equally important. First, create a proper JD, job description, create clear KPIs for him. What should be the key performance indicators that he has to achieve? And most important aspect in any recruitment, this is one of the things I take in my HR sessions when I talk about delegations for CA firms and how to delegate. I always tell them, please follow the 30, 60, 90-day rule. What is the 30, 60, 90-day rule? In 30 days, what I expect from you is this, this, this. In 60 days, I expect this, this, this. 90 days, I expect this, this. Once you put that systems clearly saying that this is what I expect from you, then you do the mapping of the resume. What I mean by mapping, if this is what is my expectations, is this person capable of delivering that? If the answer is capable of delivering that, then you know whom to hire. No, he is not capable of delivering what I want. Then why are you hiring him? Then you have to search for somebody else. He may come at a different cost. Fair enough. So you need to be very clear about how you're doing the matching between what I call it as the attributes that is required and the job description that you have created. That will decide what is the cost at which you will hire somebody. That will decide about what will be the revenues or the ROI he is going to bring into the organization. Or finally, if you still want to hire a low resource, please go ahead and hire, provided you're confident of spending time on training and upskilling. If you have the time to train, then definitely yes, because how everybody grows is that somebody must have trained somebody. So if you have a good training mechanism, you have the LMS with you, then hire. Doesn't matter, even if it doesn't know. If attitude is good, then the skills and knowledges can be trained. Because attitudes cannot be trained. Attitude is something which has to come with the person. The character of a person is him. If he's an orange, he's always an orange. I can't make him a mango. I can only ensure that orange becomes a riper orange. That's all I can do. I can't convert it into a mango. Not possible for me. So skills and knowledge can be trained. Attitudes is only comes with him as a package. So understand this aspect and then ensure whom you're going to hire.
Time is money, sir. Very well said. If you are having time and you can spend on the training sessions, then definitely go with a bit low side. Otherwise, better to go with quality.
Yes.
Right, sir. So my next question is, how can firms address the fear of domination by stronger partners while still enabling decisive leadership?
Right. See, in any organization, there'll always be one superstar. So we say it's a multi-star movie, but there is a superstar even in that multi-star. So the reality of life is one of them may be a charismatic personality. He is a charismatic personality and that's how he is. Now, what is important between partners, when it comes to between partners, is to have a role clarity. What I mean by role clarity, one of them had asked this question just some time back, right? Wherein they said that we have individual partners, individual activities, they have their own clients. This is where the issue comes up. I'm linking that question with this question. In an organization, if I am one of the partners, and along with my vertical of bringing in revenue, I should also take up one non-billable vertical. What do you mean by non-billable vertical? One of the partners should be responsible for creating culture in the organization. So that is my responsibility to create culture in the organization. One of the partners should take up the responsibility of telling, hey, I will take up the responsibility of creating all SOPs in the organization. So that means that becomes my responsibility for SOPs. Now, if each one of us take up a particular role, then you will not feel inferior to the other. Right? Because what is happening is you're only looking at one aspect of it and say, hey, I think he is big and I'm small. But for that role, since you have taken up the accountability, I used to always talk about C&A, right? In today's session also. C for consistency. For me, CA always is C for consistency and A for accountability. So are you consistent and are you accountable? So if you take up the accountability saying that this team is HR training in my office is my job. Creating LMS is my job. That means that is yours. Now you tell me in that aspect, if you are the one who is to be taken for everything, you will be the one who will be consulted for that activity. Then who is big, who is small anymore? No, my partner is very good in the communication skills and business development. Okay, take care. Let him take up the BD role. You take up the SOP role. Other partner will take up the HR training role inside the organization. One more will take up the tech role. Somebody has to be responsible for creating techs inside the organization. What all new techs are there and I'll grow it. If you do this, then you'll no more feel inferior saying that, hey, he's a superhero and I'm not.
Very well said. We have to check our inherent capability, which the each partner is having in its own, so that he may pick the particular task, so that nobody will feel the inferiority complex among the partners.
Yes.
Very well said. Sir, my next question is, how can firms encourage collaboration while addressing concerns around client ownership and protection of trade secrets?
I understand this aspect. You see, all of us know it, okay? I will not name anything, obviously, but everybody knows that in any firm, somebody will leave, somebody will take clients and go. That's the reality of it. Now, you can't keep telling all the time saying that everything I will hold, everything I will keep. Let's accept a few realities. Sometimes somebody will go, somebody will take, something will go. It's okay. That's the realities. And just because of that, just because there can be an accident on the road, will I stop driving my vehicle? No, I will not. I will continue to drive, hoping that I am not the one who is involved in that. Same thing when it comes to growing a firm also. Confidentiality as far as client data so that somebody else will not take it, or are we talking about confidentiality as far as professional ethics is concerned? I think I don't have to discuss about the professional ethics part. We all know about what NDAs are signed for, what confidentiality of data has to be maintained. That is already clear between us. If we are talking about that kind of confidentiality, I think that is purely a culture of the organization as to how you train your team right from day one, from induction, telling them, boss, you need to understand you're working in a CA firm and clients give us data, trusting you that you will not leak this to somebody else. With the trust only it is given to you. That kind of training has to be done internally. No doubt about it. But when it comes to, if I allow my team to do it and they take away the client, I think that's purely about your rapport with the clients. That will decide what has to happen.
Right, sir. My next question is, sir, how should firms deal with the non-cooperative partners or delays in assignment, especially when accountability is unclear? I think the question itself is having the answer.
Yeah.
Once the accountability is not there, then what should we do?
If we create for our team as targets, the same targets is applicable to partners. There is a KPI matrix that has to be created for partners. There is a leadership matrix which has to be created for each of the partners. And in the partners meetings, there has to be a discussion as to this is what we did, this is what I did, this is what you did, this is what you did not do. And I think that open, transparent conversations between the partners is a must. In fact, going from pure monetary point of view, what we always advise is, we say in a partnership firm also, always earmark a portion of the funds, saying that this portion of the funds is towards anybody who's helping in the firm growth. This portion of the funds is only when you achieve these KPIs for each partner. And that's how it is it's created. No, we all know when we say my revenue is so much, my expense is so much, my profit is so much. When we are calculating the expenses, we'll also create one overhead item saying that 20% of the revenue will go towards these activities. So it creates a kitty. So everybody's revenue 20% is sitting there. So if I want that revenue, only if I perform, I'll get it. Otherwise, it will stay as firm's money. It will not become my money.
Very well said. What should be our course of action when partners resist work outside their own domain or comfort zone? Again, sir, very practical question.
Two answers for this. Answer number one, if it's not my domain and I don't want to do it, fair enough. I think you can't push certain things. If I am not a GST expert and you ask me to do GST, then I think it is unfair because that's not my expertise.
True.
Right? So therefore, if it's not in his domain expertise, I don't think we have any right to push that work to somebody who is not capable of doing it. And we know the result also. If there is no domain expertise, you know what will be the outcome of it. The deliverables will also be pathetic. Right? I'll say no. But tomorrow he has to handle. Then my answer was already given. Train him. Train him in that field. Ensure that he is skilled enough to take up that role. And only if he is skilled enough to take up that role, then he should be given that role.
My next question is, sir, what is the realistic and workable way to initiate succession planning in mid-sized CA firms?
Hmm.
So the questions are very realistic.
Correct. I always tell one aspect. Are we dependent on partners for the succession and growth? Or is it a sustainable model that I have created? So are we people dependent organization or are we a system dependent organization? Now, from a people dependent moving to a system dependent will never happen overnight. It's a process. We have to keep working, nothing easy. But is that the right thing to do? Definitely the right thing to do. And then most importantly, in the course of succession planning, most important aspect which is missed out is second line leadership. So what I mean by second line leadership, always we think that नहीं मिल रहा है, मेरे तरह आदमी नहीं मिल रहा है, मेरे तरह सोच उसका नहीं है. I always tell everybody, hey sweethearts, तेरा जैसा कोई नहीं है, नहीं रहेगा. There will not be anybody like you. It will not happen also. So why are you expecting मेरा तरह नहीं होगा? You are unique, you are rare. And that is how God's creation is. Each one is different. So then what is the outcome? To be ready in my mindset, if I want to replace Vijay Raja next, there has to be 3 Vijay Rajas I have to train. That means 30%, one third of the shared responsibility is what I can create. So I have to train not one to replace me. I have to train 3 at least as my second line. And this is the biggest mistake we always think. We do then ek aadmi will be able to do my job. No, it's not possible because your style is different. And therefore you create one third, create 3. This is a standard formula which is applied across all management institutes. Recently, I was in Seattle in US. So there also in one of the universities, we were discussing this concept, saying that there's something called as a delegation matrix, and delegation is always one third, and that's the truth. Meaning, the best person I can find, he can only do one third of my job, and that's the truth of it. He can never do the full. So therefore, you need to have 3 people with you, one third, and then slowly it is their capabilities to scale up. And from one third, they become half. From half, they may come to 1, or they can go 1.5. That depends on their personal capabilities later. But it has to be one third. So succession planning, 2 points for you. Number 1, next line, that is second line leadership. You have to create, develop, and ensure that you create those training programs for them. Remember, and from a mindset level, one third only is going to happen. One third. Create 3. Your job divided into 3 parts and say, you do this, you do this, you do this, and that's how you are able to delegate it. And then see who is able to absorb more, and then start making him leader among the leaders.
Sir, our chairman and vice chairman of this committee has already joined this session. Sir, I would like to say right now around more than 1,000 participants are watching this webinar. So this itself shows the severity and seriousness of this webinar and topic. So that's a
Credit goes to
big
Vijay
round of applause, sir.
Credit goes to Vijay bhai.
Yes, sir. I'm getting,
because
sir.
his presence and his deliberation, such a big number has joined.
Yes, sir.
What I have heard that people are calling their friends that it is a wonderful session. Please join, and they are joining on their request. So this is something very big, and that aggregation we want in our committee. The people should call their friends and members, other members, that join us. We want to make a big firm. That we need, and I think you have given a very big, I can say, foresight to all the members that how and why the aggregation is important. Very great, sir. And you have given a very thoughtful deliberations. And Sanjay bhai is here. Sanjay bhai, do you want to ask any question?
I was also listening and learning something.
Sir, I think from what Sanjay sir is telling, for all my friends who are there in the seminar, the statement what Sanjay sir made may look like a small statement. I think that's the most powerful statement. Sanjay sir just now said, I am also listening, I am also learning. I think the success of anybody comes if the student is alive in them. Only if the student is alive in them, that's when we continue to grow. The day we get egoistic saying that I've arrived, then I don't think we'll grow any further. I think that's a beautiful statement, Sanjay ji, what you have told, I think, but it has too much in-depth value in what you spoke just now. Although it's a one line, that you are also learning, that shows however big you have become, how much ever experiences you have gained, but you have the student in you still alive. I think that's the biggest message for everybody to take away, that as long as we don't have ego saying that I have already arrived somewhere and the student in me is alive, we'll continue to grow and we'll always be successful.
Vijay
And
sir,
I should not be always right.
Vijay sir, I am telling you, it's not going to be an easy brief for you. I am getting flood of questions for you, sir. So I would request you to please stay with us for another 10 minutes, sir. My
Five
next
minutes
question for you is,
5 minutes is okay because I have another call at 7.
no issue, sir. We will conclude the same, sir. My next question is, with the each passing day, it is becoming difficult to hire or retain good employees. What is your suggestion to hire and retain employees? And what should be the ideal source to procure the employees for a CA firm?
When it comes to employees, in fact, there is so much we can speak about it, about retention ke liye and all that. There was a popular movie which had come called as RRR. It was called as RRR. It's a very popular movie which was there. So I always relate with, for this question, my answer is RRR. What is that RRR? If you want your employees to stay with you, you want to attract the employees to be with you, and you don't want to have any attritions, you have to remember RRR. Not the movie RRR, but 3 RRR. What is that? Number 1, you have to recognize your people. Unlike the olden days for all of us, I'm sure Sanjay sir, Satish sir will agree with what I'm saying, and Saurabh sir also. See, during our days, our focus was only on growth, which means even if we used to get scoldings from our boss, from our seniors, we used to happily take the scoldings because our focus was not on that scolding part. We wanted to grow. We never used to take it to heart. So before, the basis was growth, whereas today the basis is respect. So we need to understand that the today's generation, how they are is they expect respect. Growth is secondary for them. First, you give me respect. So first R to remember is you have to respect your people, accept that this is the new age, this is the new generations, and that is how it would always be. Give them the respect first. Once you start giving them the respect, then they're willing to learn next. So first is R, that is respect. Second R is relationship. That means the kind of office culture you create, wherein there should be a joy to come and stay there for 8 hours. And that happens with the kind of relationships that is developed as a peer relationships among everybody in the office. Very important to create that relationship culture within the organization. It's the second R. And the third R is rewards. They have to be rewarded for whatever additional performance they're able to do. If I ask my person to do A, B, C work, and he also does the D work, it is my responsibility, number 1, to recognize it and then to reward it. And that becomes a basis for them to do it again, and for others also to be inspired to do it again. So if they remember these RRRs, I think that's the best way to ensure that retention can happen.
Right, sir. Sir, before we finally wrap up, I request the Vice Chairman of this committee, CA Shri Sanjay Kumar Agarwal ji, to kindly give his vote of thanks, sir.
Thank you, Saurabh bhai. I think the speaker of the day, Shri Vijay ji, has done very well and has also replied most of the query. Saurabh ji, I always learned in my old days when I used to be an article that there is one saying, and I always repeat it also, that how a cashier will be happy. A cashier will be happy once the book cash and the physical cash tallies. So the same with any deliberation, where the deliberation are being done either physically or through an virtual mode. If the question answers of the participants are given and they are being explained in a very beautiful manner, so then it means the cash tallies. So this is my one note which I am observing in this particular webinar for the building a high performance from the growth of a CFO. And then to the committee, to the team which is there to take the notes also, and also my chairman Satish Gupta ji, the Saurabh bhai who remained there all the time, though I have bunked for some time in between, but I kept on listening through the mode as a participant. So very beautiful saying certain things which Vijay bhai has already given it. If we can perform at least 5 to 10% out of that, we'll get beautiful results. The thing is this, handling the human being is one of the difficult tasks. Same strategy may work out in the case of X-Form, may not work out in the Y. But the strategies, if they are brought in such a lucid manner together, then you can use any of the formula or you can use most of the formula. So with this, what I will say, thanks to the speaker of the day, Shri Vijay ji, CA Vijay ji, thanks for the moderator, thanks for my chairman, and special thanks to all the participants. The 1,000 participants today in the March ending, I'm telling you, it is not an easy job. The people will come, the member will come only when they will get the good stuff. So kudos to the Vijay bhai for bringing the such a material in just 1.5 hours or so. Rest of the queries have been handled in this. So thank you very much from the committee side, from the institute side, from my chairman side, and also moderator for moderating. Keep in touch, stay safe, stay healthy, and also remember that success is not a one-day job. It is a job which is continuous and you have to perform. You have to also think from the other's point. You have to also think, if I would have been in that shoes, what I would have reacted. So with this, thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much,
With
sir,
this,
for your
over to
words
you.
of wisdom. Sir, I would like to request Satish Gupta, sir, for his final closer notes, sir.
No, nothing. When my Sanjay bhai have given, I'm not to say anything except hearty thanks to Vijay bhai for such a wonderful deliberation, and thanks to Saurabh for such a nice moderation. और संजय भाई तो हमारे सदाबहार हैं. He is the always green, always smiling, always we are feeling blessed under his leadership. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, sir. Thanks to all, and thank you, my dear friends, who have attended in such a large number this webinar, more than 1,000 people. Great, really great. All the best. Thank you very much. Thanks.
Thank you so much, sir, for your deliberation. With this, we are ending up with this session. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks to all participants.